Hi, Carl Ford here in Atlanta at WebRTC World, but we're going to stay in the layer 2 level and not deal with that crazy app stuff because we're about light today. And we're going to talk about FiberLight, and we've got the CEO here, Paul Perrone. Paul, tell me about your history. How long have you guys been in business?
The company's been in business about 20 years. We've been through many stages. We started in the mid-90s, and we built the company up through ACSI, through eSpire, Expedius, and now we're FiberLight. The company name actually started about 2005.
Okay, now, I'm going to use references for those of us who have been in the glass part of the business. So I'm going to apologize.
Have to explain it to me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to apologize to all the youngins out there who aren't going to get all the references.
Okay.
But first of all, you're not directly associated with the carriers, so you're helping them build out their fiber networks, but in effect, you're choosing right-of-ways that don't go into their central offices. Right?
And they're diverse from their normal right-of-ways where they currently have their own fiber or their copper. So they always are looking for diversity. And so what we do is we provide that diversity, and it's different. So for example, if some backhoe comes in and cuts their lines, they're not cutting our lines in addition. So they have that ability to stay in service.
And typically, how do you guys figure out where your right-of-ways are, and how do you manage these relationships?
Very similar to what everybody does. We go through permitting. We go to local cities and through departments of transportation. And so those people are able to help us show where not only we want to build, but where other fibers and things are located. So we have a very good historical map as to everything that's going on.
So now, for those of us who have lived in a crazy GPON world where we've watched ourselves do things like put fiber above the frost line, which was a mistake, and you're down in the south here. So typically, how does
helps a little bit.
Yeah, tell me, your footprint and where do you service?
Well, we are. If you start in the north, we're in Washington D.C., Baltimore. We have Culpeper and Charlottesville in Virginia. We come down, we have the metro Atlanta area. Then if you go further south, we're in Florida. We have almost 200,000 fiber miles in Tampa, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami. We recently done and started an expansion in Texas, and that expansion has been over 5,000 miles to date, and it's going as high as 8,000 miles. And most of that's in West Texas and in Central Texas, but we're in Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio.
Okay, so now let's get down to the real network architecture kind of stuff. Okay, your customers are primarily looking for local outside plants, so you're servicing both campus environments and businesses that have multiple locations and
big hospitals, multi-point, education, governments, anybody that's trying. Data centers. We're in over 500 data centers. So if you look at from that standpoint, we have the ability, and our fiber, in fact, goes by over 200,000 buildings. Now, we're not in all of those buildings, but we're running right by the road. So we can basically service just about anybody. We're in most of the carrier hotels, and where everybody else is doing cross connects and transferring their information. So we're pretty deep as far as in those cities where we're actually operating.
Okay, and mostly you're selling dark fiber. Is it just strands? How do you sell it?
We sell lit and dark. Dark fiber mostly is a wholesale, and we sell it to other carriers, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile. We do have lit services that we sell to big, like government contracts and things like that, so quite a bit.
Okay, and there's all sorts of discussions about spectrum right now and unlicensed LTE coming of age and that kind of stuff. Are you hearing your customers asking you about, can you build me some towers too, or are you going to end up being in a mixed environment?
No, we're not. We've had several questions about building towers or getting into data storage and things like that, but and I hate to use the trite term, we try to stick to our knitting, and that's way outside of our box, and we service those. We provide backhaul for the wireless backhaul cellular companies, and we do data storage and we connect in there. But we're just big dumb pipes, and that's what we do best.
So if I have a need for glass, you're my guy.
We got it.
Okay,
We got more than enough.
great. So thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.